never let them bring you down, cause then you be on a level. Listen, I'm never giving up. Stand your ground, don't be too comfortable or too settled. Listen, I'm never giving up. When you hit rock bottom, it's only one way to go. Listen, I'm never giving up. Everybody got problems, how you handle them, no. Yeah, listen.
Hey, I'm John.
I'm Jonathan.
Welcome to the Formula.
What's up, good people?
Jonathan, was good?
Hey, man. Busy life, man. Everything's going too fast for me right now. I'm just trying to hold on.
That's how it be sometimes.
Just trying to keep it in the road, like my cousin say. Just keep it in the road, man. What's going on with you?
Nothing much. You wanna touch base on the Gabby Petito situation?
Yeah, a few weeks ago we talked about Gabby and her fiance Brian, and went off on a truck ride, I guess, across America, and vanning across America, hitting up different states and different parks, and she was missing, and they found remains of her body. So just to update on that, they just found what they say is Brian, her fiance's, I think just some bones in Florida. So
Just bones?
just bones. His only way they was able to figure out it was him was because of his dental. They took his teeth and ran the test on those and everything. And it's, due to his dental record, they was able to identify that was him that was dead.
That's crazy.
So, kind of said that at the end of our podcast. Like, do you think he like maybe killed himself, or went out there in the Everglades?
You pretty much called it. Yeah,
went out there in the Everglades for some. For some gators to eat them or something like that, just to get away with this. That's a tough life, man. That wasn't worth it.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough, man. So yeah, I hate to say I called that, man. But God,
you had a feeling.
Yeah,
you had a feeling that was that's how it was gonna end up.
Yep, I really had a feeling, and the parents and the family, I think they knew what was up. I think they helped them get away with this, and they like to see the justice system work when it's somebody else, but when it's them, they don't want to see the justice system work.
Yeah, well, that's a good segue to critical race theory, because that's kind of what critical race theory is about.
Yeah,
is how all of these systems impact us as opposed to other races.
Right.
So
yeah, and what it does is I'm very new to this critical race theory thing, because I had to put a name to it and everything. So they can cast it out, try to get rid of it. But that's what I understand is the critical race theory is to expose somewhat. That's the part that a lot of people don't like, that it is exposing America for what it is. Like, it's exposing America that a lot of laws was put in place to impact the Black, brown, indigenous people in America. That it didn't impact the white Americans at all. It was there to keep black, brown, indigenous people down, right? And they trying to expose these laws that America put in place, that white people put in place to hold black people down, and they don't like that. And I think we talked about this in another episode as well. It's funny that the people that is speaking out about this right now, a lot of the old old white America that actually was the ones that actually was holding the black people down back in the 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all through that time frame, right? Because they still alive.
And now they're in positions of power.
Yes.
Now they're all over our government.
Yes, yes. And they're
and now they're making the laws.
Yes, yes. And they're trying to stop us from seeing and more, and they're trying to stop more white people from seeing what the truth is. Because they've been, let's be real, they've been writing history and rewriting history for as long as America's been a country. You know what I mean? So I would like to get a lot into this because, I mean, I was digging deep in like how some of this stuff started, and it's kind of weird. But what really brought this to my attention is what Condoleezza Rice. Have you seen that?
No.
That situation?
No.
So Condoleezza Rice was on The View.
I saw she was on The View,
Yeah.
but I don't really mess with her like that, so
Yeah.
I didn't want to watch it. So.
Right. So she got the donkey of the day. She got the donkey of the day today from Charlemagne.
Why am I not surprised about that? Why am I not surprised?
Those donkey of the days are hilarious.
Some of them are well deserved.
Right.
Some of them are well deserved. No, well, tell me what happened, because I don't. Let's see. Let's see if Condoleezza Rice actually deserved it.
Yes. Oh, she deserved it.
You-
For sure.
You think so?
Yeah, she should have got the hammer tones. Donkey. Of the day. She should have got that one. She should have got Remy Ma. Hee haw. She should have got all them joints, right? She even should have got the mayonnaise from I forgot the lady that says the mayonnaise, too much mayonnaise.
So what she said?
So basically, Condoleezza Rice says that she don't agree with she don't agree with critical race theory teaching what really happened, because white people have to feel guilty about being white. Basically, she don't want white kids to feel guilty about being white, and like
It's not about that though.
Right.
That's not the objective of critical race theory. And now they're conflating critical race theory with American history and African American history. And they're not the same. Critical race theory is exploring the issues that are happening now, today, that affect us as a race, that have a negative impact on us as a race right now. They're just not trying to teach American history at all.
Yeah, because all of
and
the
they're
things
conflating the two, and now they're saying, "Oh, slavery is critical race theory." No, it's not. No, it's not.
Right.
And as far as white guilt, listen, man. Listen, my advice to white folks, okay? It's part of your history. That's what it is. Learn about it. Educate yourself. And learn from it.
Right.
And try not to repeat the same mistakes.
Right.
Even though back then it was a mistake. There weren't mistakes, but try not to repeat history. You just learn from it and grow. Like you don't have to feel guilty. And if you do feel guilty, do something positive with that guilt. You know what I mean? So, kind of just, they tell us to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. Like, man up. You know what I mean? Don't be so emotional about it.
Right.
Man up.
Right.
And if you do feel a way about it, use that energy and do something positive with it. That's my advice.
Right. But we've been teaching about slaves, and we have slave movies and all that stuff.
Right.
So you never said anything about it.
Yeah, you can't just unteach it now,
Right.
right?
So you want black people to know about how bad we had it, right?
Right.
You didn't say anything about those movies that portrayed it, right?
Right.
Because you want us to feel bad about where we were as a people. And listen, and that has really impacted black people's mental health.
Yeah, because a
Come on,
lot
man.
of black people feel like black people are inferior.
Yeah.
Where do you think they got that from?
Yeah, right.
Because they sure as hell didn't get it from us.
Yeah,
like
I mean-
we don't teach that.
the law actually said we was 1/5
Right.
of a human, dude.
Right.
I mean, what are they? I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
So that's what Condoleezza Rice said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
She's worried about white people's feelings.
Yeah. We don't care about our feelings. Don't matter.
No, apparently they don't.
Black people being lied to. I mean, we think about it through this mess that through the past 2 years, 2-3 years of black people being killed, and then a lot of the history coming up, and white people continuing the lies, perpetuating the lies that they say about black people. Why they're not in a good space, right? Mm-hmm. Why you guys are still in the gutter? Mm-hmm. Why this is why you here. This is why you don't have the higher paying jobs. This is why. No, critical race theory is actually telling you why we don't have the money. It's
challenging that idea that we are where we are, and it's because it's our fault and no one else's fault.
Right. That's the
try
part.
to put the blame on us.
Right.
Victim shaming.
Right.
So to speak.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what critical race theory explores. That's and that's all it is.
Mm-hmm. And I like going. It's crazy. I like going back to really Donald Floyd. Like what Donald Floyd did was that some white people was able to look at the situation because they was lied to through all the other situations, right? The media said this isn't what happened. This isn't what happened. So they kind of believed the media saying this isn't what happened, right? So the black people deserved it. That's what they basically were saying. Black people was deserving of being killed by the police, right? All this stuff. And then what George Floyd did was bring that back and bring that into the faces of white people to see that this guy just got killed on camera and they didn't even care that he was killing him. He basically suffocated him on camera. So you couldn't lie about it because the whole situation was all caught on tape, right?
Even though some people still tried to deny.
Right? People still tried. But now what that did was that opened up a lot of white people's eyes. And then I've had some friends, something like, hey, I'm behind you. Things like that. A lot of people coming up and a lot of people actually defending, a lot more white people actually defending it. And it's on social media, so the world see that a lot of white people are defending black people. Now, this is where the attack is coming from. The reason why they don't want this is because they don't want this critical race theory, the truth out there, because they don't want more white people to really, really know the truth. Mm-hmm. That everything that they've been told all their life about black people has been a lie. That's what they don't want to know. They don't teach. I'm sure no white people has taught their offspring, their people that about Black Wall Street. I'm pretty sure you never heard of that.
I never heard of it.
All right. So I'm pretty sure they never taught their kids about how really Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, that was really a black community. But guess what, guys? Them white people that lived over there ran the black people out. Literally ran them out, killed them. They was on the run like fugitives. Hung them, did all that. Police didn't do anything about it. There were police then. And all this happened under the nose of the police. That's what they don't tell that. Mm-hmm. They don't tell those stories. Mm-hmm. Those stories need to be told.
Mm-hmm. And these stories are recent.
Yeah.
Some of these stories are happening currently. Mm-hmm. And that's what critical race theory kind of explores.
Right.
So I don't see what the problem is.
Right. I like what Charlamagne said too, is he said if the truth make you uncomfortable, don't blame the truth. Blame the lies that made you comfortable in the first place. Mm. Don't be mad at the truth of critical race theory, if you want to call it critical race theory. I'm gonna call it the truth about what America's really about. That it haven't stopped, guys. What what America's done to black people in the past, a lot of it, I understand you don't see a lot of it. You was able to see the murderers on TV now, but like redlining, taxing people out of their communities, the gentrification, guys. The reason, like, first white people wanted to be on the outside of the city, right? Pushed all the black people on the inside. Now they want to get all the way to the inside of the city. Now they where the black people going now? You already put $1 million houses on the outside of the city. Mm-hmm. That's what gentrification is about. That's law, guys. Gentrification is law. What they do is they change the law with the taxes. They tax these people out of the houses. They probably lived in these houses all their lives. They maybe have been given down generation to generation, some of these people, right? But the tax laws making the taxes go up so much that these people that already retired, they're probably in their 60s, 70s, 80s, don't have a lot of money. Now they can't even pay the tax bill. Gentrification.
And that's the real issue with it, is that people really think racism doesn't exist in this country. Mm-hmm. And critical race theory, or the truth as you like to call it, it challenges that. Mm-hmm. So for all the people who don't think that racism still exists, it's here. Mm-hmm. It's here, and it's still alive, and it's still going. And but see, I don't even think they teach critical race theory K through 12.
No, I mean they don't. They just starting to like teach some stuff that really happened, like history, American history.
Right. Right. But I heard in Tennessee they're trying to get rid of that too.
Right. Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. So they got rid of teaching anything involving race or racism, K through 12, in the whole state of Tennessee. Mm-hmm.
They want to they want to rewrite history.
They want to rewrite history.
We want to rewrite history, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that like everybody believed that therapy works, right? Mm-hmm. Like mental health is a big thing. The NFL actually has a whole like month of mental health awareness. I think it's a month or a week, but mental health awareness. Brandon Marshall, I listen to his podcast a lot. Check it out; it's cool. But Brandon Marshall was on the forefront of that. Mental health, things that he went through, things that he learned through going through it himself. Now he's a big advocate of mental health. Like those things are very important, and everybody believes that mental health is important. But what does therapy and mental health do for us? It goes back into our past, right? Figure out what's wrong with us in our mind. Like what happened to you? What really happened to you? Maybe there's something that you blocked out over here that happened to you. Maybe you blocked that out and you don't understand why you act the way you act, right? You don't really understand why do you act like that? That therapy digs into that, gets really deep, digs into that. Like I've been through therapy and it's helped me out a lot. You know what I mean? But the important part of therapy is that it does go into your past and it does dig that bad stuff that happened to you that you don't remember, but you remember, and it actually affects your whole life. Mm-hmm. So if we believe in this so much, why is it that we don't think that America as a whole need that mental therapy? Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to benefit from this mental therapy. Black people are going to benefit from this mental therapy because we're going to understand, like, we've been telling y'all this all the time. Now at least somebody's believing me. Mm-hmm. Like, you keep doing stuff, people think you insane because you're saying stuff that they don't see. That's what we go through right now, right?
Right.
We saying stuff. Some white people look at us like, man, you crazy.
Right. Because they don't
see that.
Because they don't experience what we experience. They don't walk the shoes that we walk.
Right. And white people can see that, look, this is really how it happened. Mm-hmm. This is really why black people act like this. This is really why black people haven't gotten along gotten ahead as we should have in this nation. There's no reason that really the race that built this country should be where it is. You know what I mean? So there's a lot that we need that mental health, man. We need that mental health. It's wild, man.
It's just about growing as a country.
I don't see any problem with us growing as a country.
Nah,
all we're gonna do is make our country better.
I mean, everybody swear they love this country. You love it,
right?
Right. I mean, if you love it,
right,
you shouldn't have a problem learning about our history and then moving forward in a better way, moving forward in a positive way. And
let's do what's right.
Like you said, we've been saying this for the longest time. You know what I mean? Like, why was it George Floyd when, you know, we had the Rodney King situation in 1992?
Right.
92. Like, I remember that. I was a kid. I remember that. How come we didn't learn our lesson then? But now people want to, you know, act all different with the George Floyd situation. And then you still got people who haven't come around. So, you know, just about learning, educating yourself, growing, and not repeating history. And, you know, don't be all up in your feelings. Don't be all up in your feelings. It's just education. It's just growing. Right.
Yeah. I mean, like you say, a lot of people say this, like, why are we get demonized from what people before us did? We're still getting demonized from people.
I was just going to say.
We're still getting demonized.
I was just going to say.
We didn't have to do anything to be demonized.
I was just going to say.
Right?
Yep.
We were put in bad situations to have to do some bad things. Right? And like, we're getting demonized. We are continuing to get demonized for being slaves. We are demonized for being black. Right? We're not demonizing anyone for what white people before us did. No, we want to be truthful. I know it might hurt, but hey, the truth hurts sometimes.
Sometimes
but you gotta, in order to get from point A to point B to where we want to be as a loving country, and you know, everybody want to rally around different causes, but as a whole, man, this is what our country was founded on. This is what our country was built on. That's the foundation. Everybody know that a foundation of anything is very important. You need to know about that foundation. There's a reason why the inspector goes in the crawl space of a house when you buy a house. There's a reason why they go into the crawl space or in the basement. They look at that foundation, see if that foundation is right.
And you got to look at it. You got to look at everything.
You got to mediate. I mean, if there's mediation in that foundation, you have to get things fit. The inspector's going to tell you what's wrong with that foundation. Let's fix that. Let's look at our foundation, guys. Let's fix that. And we got to do that together. This ain't if this was shaming, if this was really like shaming white people or demonizing white people, we would be beating white people right now. Kind of like y'all doing to the Asians. Beating up Asians around here, right?
Yeah.
But we're not here for violence. We're not here for anything like that. We're here for answers, truths. We want everybody to know what's real, and all this fake stuff, political fake stuff, it need to be done away with.
And we'd like to see progress. We'd like to see change. You know, that's the whole point. You know, so that's what it is for me. Is like critical race theory. We want to see actual change.
Yep. The only way we're gonna heal if we confront our past. That's the only way you can heal, man. But just another part of this critical race theory, right? Just go back a few years after the World War. No, I'm sorry, not the World War, but after the Civil War, when the South lost, what happened was they started to reframe and rewrite history, right? On what happened, why we went to war, why the Civil War happened, right? It was all about slavery. They didn't want us to know that it was about slavery, so they talked about other things, right? They said it was about everything else. And what happened was there was two historians, Southern historians, Edward Pollard and General Jubal Early. They started to write books to preserve the Southern perspective. So they started writing the books to say that, America, that the Civil War wasn't about slavery. We didn't want to keep slavery going. That's some of the books that they wrote about.
Okay.
It wasn't like slavery wasn't the cause of the war. That's some of the things that they.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the things that they wrote about. And then, did you know about? Have you ever heard of the United Daughters of the Confederacy?
No.
Never heard of that.
Never heard of it. No.
So, the United Daughters of Confederacy was literally daughters and community of the Confederate, like that. That actually, after the war, after they lost, they started the propaganda, the news. They used their influence because a lot of them was already in politics through their family members that was either generals or officers in the war. They started using their money, their stuff, their influence and everything. They started pushing this agenda as well that they wanted to change the narrative of why the war was, and that they wanted to make the Confederate generals look like heroes. And they really wanted to push this to keep the Confederate thing going. So that's why there's a lot of the Confederate monuments around the Confederate states. A lot of those, like most, if not all, of those Confederate monuments.
Oh, that was from
them. They're the ones that put those up. They were the ones that put it up.
And this is well after a lot of the monuments were well after the Civil War.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. A lot of them was shortly after too. They put a lot of those up.
And and it's not okay. Taking down a statue is one thing. Completely, because when they say, "Oh, you take down these monuments, you're trying to erase history." No. This critical race theory issue, you're literally trying to erase history.
Right.
Literally. You're literally trying to take it out of the education system. You're literally trying to take it out the school. You're literally trying to take it out the textbooks. We're just taking it down the statue. Mm-hmm. We're just taking down a monument. Mm-hmm. That's all that is. You could, if you want to be Confederate, be Confederate.
Right.
I mean, I thought we were under the Constitution, but to each his own. Like if you want to follow the Confederacy, it is what it is. Mm-hmm.
And people still follow the Confederacy. Think about the flags.
Sure they do.
You feel what I'm saying?
Now, I don't know what consists of the Confederate culture. I don't know the details. I don't know, is it a kind of food they eat? Is it kind of festivals they have? Right. Is it kind of way they dress? Right. Amish, you know what Amish is. Right. Hip hop culture, you know what that is. You know what I mean? What's Confederate culture? Right. What culture are you trying to preserve? You know what I mean? If someone can explain that to me, I like an answer for that. But yeah, we're not taking down a monument is not the same as taking something out of a textbook. Mm-hmm. So
what they don't want to happen is like they pushed a lie. So not only did they put those monuments up, right? Mm-hmm. Their biggest work came with actually going into the communities and teaching the kids. And they taught the kids about the Confederate, the Confederacy. They taught the kids about the generals of the Confederacy, what they wanted, all the things that they stood for. They taught those things. And they started teaching lies, of course, that that they put in the Georgia textbooks. A lot of the textbooks of American history was started by the United Daughters of the Confederacy, especially in the South anyway. So North Carolina, South Carolina,
Texas.
Georgia, Texas, all those states actually got those books that was actually started from the United Daughters of the Confederacy, and a lot of us a lie. You know, the early textbook. Oh, on top of that, the early textbook committee members that actually went through the textbook and approved on what was going to the textbook. 5 of those committee members was Confederate generals.
Go figure.
Now
go figure.
You're afraid of the truth, but you okay with the lie that's been told for a long time. The lie. And now they're even lying now. Like in that book, way back then, they one of the excerpts that I read was and the slave owners played music for the slaves in the fields, and they played and they had picnics, and that's what they wrote in the book, man.
I have a hard time believing that.
They played, they had a picnic, they fell, and they was and the slaves were happy.
Word.
That's what they had. That's what they wrote in the book.
Sometimes I hear that from Fox News. They be like, "Oh, the slaves, they were well fed, they were housed."
They talk again.
Like,
I mean that. Basically,
I'm like, they were slaves. It's free labor. It was brutal. It was ugly. It was hideous. It was atrocious. It was a tragedy. Right. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, you could go.
And they weren't well fed. Chitlins is not well fed.
Right.
Pig feet is not well fed.
Yeah, liver was not well fed.
No, that's not well fed. What are you talking about? Really? They were having picnics like Little House on the Prairie type shit? Like, the fuck out of here, bro. I have a hard time believing that shit.
It's crazy, man.
Fuck out of here, man.
Hey, the history of this nation is hilarious.
It's just insane, man. It's insane. Like, you know, your ancestors did what they did. Acknowledge it, own up to it.
Right.
Own up to it and move forward. You know, and just don't treat well, you shouldn't be treating anybody like shit.
Right.
But especially black people, don't treat us like shit. You know, stop black hate.
Right.
Can we hashtag that?
Yeah, black hate, yeah.
Can we stop black hate?
Yeah. Because just know those traumas is handed down generation.
Yeah.
So you treat them bad, they pop in your mouth.
Bro.
Hey. That's trauma.
Bro, my parents, they were born. So I told you they were born in Angola, right?
Right.
Angola, Africa. Angola is a country in the continent of Africa. Just want to clarify, right?
Right.
They were born into a colonized country. The Portuguese still had control of that country when they were born. And my parents were born in the 60s. Not that long ago, bro.
Right.
Not my parents born into a colony. That's like being born in the 13 colonies. Right. Like, come on, like it's in the 60s.
It's more relevant than you think.
It just happened.
Right.
It just happened. Like the 60s was just around the corner.
Right.
You know what I mean? So come on, bro. Like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating that, you know, so many people are just in denial. Like, why are you in denial?
No need to be in denial.
No, it
happened.
You know, and you don't have to feel guilty. I mean, you weren't. Well, some of them weren't there back then.
A lot of them were though.
Some of them are in government now.
Yep.
You know, making these laws.
Yep.
But
just know a lot of your parents and your grandparents.
Right.
We see some of your grandparents in these videos kicking black people down the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
If that make you uncomfortable, you should be.
You should be uncomfortable.
You should be.
You should be. You should have an issue with that.
If you was in that time, you probably been doing the same thing.
You would have been doing exactly the same thing. The same exact thing.
Those are communities kicking people down the road. Don't want them in the schools. Don't want them to drink their water fountain. Don't want that water to go into the same drain that your water went into. Think about that, bro. They don't want you to drink in the same water fountain because that water that you're drinking might go down the same hole, the same wastewater.
And the water we're drinking got all types of lead and all types of, unsafe chemicals in it.
But have you heard the story about how, the cornbread hush puppies?
Well, what was the story with that?
You know what hush puppies are, right?
Yeah.
All right. So South Carolina plantation. They used, they couldn't cook in the house. They had to cook in the outhouse. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So the slave cooking the food for the slave owners, and the aroma of the food would bring dogs, and the dogs would like bark because they want the food.
Mm-hmm.
They smell the food.
Mm-hmm.
The slave owners would beat the slaves because they didn't want to hear the dogs. Shut the dogs up. They would beat the slaves. So the women that's out there cooking, dogs come barking, they'll beat the slaves. So what the slaves started doing, the women, now think about that, the black women, out there cooking, then they get beat because some dogs ran over it because you making them cook outside. All the things they got beat for because the things that you put them you put them in these situations to fail.
Make no sense.
All right. So what happened, they had to start finding a way to hush the puppies up. So they started cooking these, they started getting the corn.
And that's the origins.
They got the corn. They made a meal of the corn. They started frying this corn up. Had that ready. We know the dogs coming. Had that ready. So when the dogs came, started barking, they would throw the corn out. Shh, hush puppies, hush puppies. It's cornbread. Hush puppies, hush puppies. Trying to get the puppies to hush.
And that's the origin story.
That's the origin of hush puppies.
Yeah. Well. There was a show on Netflix called Black AF. You familiar with that?
I've heard of it. Haven't seen it.
Every episode, the title of the episode was Because of Slavery. And they basically go, it's some critical race theory where they basically go, hey, this is why we do what we do today because of the stuff we would do in the past. Because of stuff that happened in the past.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
So hush puppies is because of slavery.
Yep. Got hush puppies because of slavery. Yep. The reason why a lot of black people got diabetes and all that is because of slavery.
And some of that stuff is hereditary.
Yep.
You could pass it from one to your offspring.
But I mean, a lot of it is just that's our habit. That's our eating habits, right?
Yeah, it's poor eating habits.
I mean, we had to eat the chitlins. You know what I'm saying? Our community still eat the chitlins. Our community still eat the pig feet. You know what I mean? We love a picking. You know what I'm saying? Those types of things fried. We had to fry things, just to get it faster. We had that's where it comes from. That's the soul food that takes our soul. And it's all from slavery.
And they don't want to teach you none of it. Of course they don't.
Yep.
Maybe we should be the ones.
Yeah.
To teach it.
Yeah, guys. Just know we got some stuff coming in the store coming up in our later episodes. We got we got a series.
Yeah. We should take on that project.
Yeah, we got a series we're about to start. We'll give you guys some information on that very soon, but more to come.
Yeah. Yeah, it's it's sad. Frustrating and disappointing. So hopefully we could, I just want us to get better because we don't really have anywhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, would I love for us to have our own country? Sure. Is that possible? Maybe possible.
Mm-hmm.
Is that feasible? I mean, how are we going to make that happen?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there used to be a Black nation like whole movement. There used to be a whole movement for that.
Mm.
I would love to see that. You know, Candace Owens not invited.
No, absolutely.
Charles Barkley not invited. Stephen A. Smith not invited. But yeah, I would love, because it's
Condoleezza Rice.
Yeah, she's not invited either. She can't come to Wakanda. She's not invited.
But man, it's it is frustrating, guys.
I just want us to get better. Like, can we do better?
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask? And we're not even really fighting for reparations, which is owed to us.
Right.
This country owes that to us.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about them giving it to us. You owe us. Pay us what you owe. Mm-hmm. You owe us that.
And why?
And we're not even really pushing that hard body.
Right.
All we're just asking for is basic human decency. Mm-hmm. That's all it is.
And the truth, man. Like, why?
And just why don't hide from the truth.
Why are people pushing back from the truth? It happened. Like, that's disheartening. That people they are really pushing back the truth when a lot of their ancestors actually pushed a lie. Mm-hmm.
I think
like, you should be more upset about that. You should be upset about the lies that's been told to this nation.
Right. You should be upset that you were lied to.
That we have to even actually have to do this. That we actually have to tell the truth. You should be upset that we have to tell the truth.
I think they call it white supremacy.
That's about right.
I think that's what they call it. I think that's why.
Yeah, man.
And again, it's not about shaming anybody. It's not about wagging a finger at anybody. Mm-mm. It's just,
although we get shamed every day for being Black.
Well, listen, we can't treat people the way they treat us. Right. I mean, that would be unethical.
Right. Let's wrap this thing up, man.
Yeah, let's get up out of here before I get myself in trouble.
Again, we love everybody.
We try to love everybody, even though people be hating on us.
I mean, we hate lies. We just want the truth. We just want to be treated with respect, dignity. You know what I mean? We love everybody.
We're not looking for no handouts. Yeah. We're not looking for any special treatment. Mm-hmm.
We don't want a race war.
Like, we don't want a race war.
Do. You know what I mean?
We don't want another civil war.
We don't want a civil war.
We don't want that.
But we just want you guys to live with the truth. Everybody, let's heal from the truth. Let's not run from it. The hostility towards the truth is very weird.
It's so unbelievable.
Maybe their parents, like I said, maybe their parents was the ones that they see in the. Like, I would love to actually go in those videos to see, pinpoint some people and try to find out who their who their families are that's actually on what they doing right now.
Yeah, can Ancestry.com do that?
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be amazing.
Connect the dots.
That'd be good to see which one of y'all families is out here kicking Black people down the road and beating them up because they walking down the street.
Yeah, it's depressing. It's really what it is. Depressing. Mm-hmm. But hopefully we can get better. That's what we're calling for. That's what we're advocating for. I wouldn't mind reparations. Like, I don't have an issue with that.
No.
And if you want to, I don't know, give us North Carolina and make that a Black country.
That'd be cool.
I mean, it doesn't have to be North Carolina. It could be another state. Not Delaware though. Don't be trying to give us no Rhode Island or something like that.
No.
Or you could build us an island. You could build us an island like off the coast of California. And we just live on the island by ourselves, isolated from everybody else. Because apparently everybody's hating on black folks. Apparently, that's what it seemed like. Because I've seen it from the Latino community, I've seen it from the Asian community. You know, that's like a trend. That's like the popular thing to do. Hate on black folks. Really frustrating and really depressing. But, you know, that's what critical race theory is about. It's about, you know, the truth and learning from the truth and moving forward. Moving forward in a positive way. So
it's about healing, man. Just learn from my past. I gotta learn from my past. I mean,
that therapy analogy was very just so on point. So on point. That's a perfect analogy, perfect way to, you know, approach it.
Yep. Only way to heal is to confront our past.
And, you know, that helps us figure out today, what's going on today. And hopefully that'll help us figure out tomorrow.
Yep. Because there's always going to be breadcrumbs for what's going on today. There's some breadcrumbs what happened yesterday. So you'll see why things are over here like this now, because those breadcrumbs go back to what they did then.
So we're gonna head out.
Yeah, man.
Follow us on Instagram at The Formula Production. Follow us on Twitter at The Formula Pro. Find the podcast. Just use whatever app you're on, whatever app you like to use your podcast for, and search for The Formula Production. And you should see us. You should see our logo. We should pop up. I know for sure we're on Anchor, we're on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast. So, you know, check us out. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. We put extra content on YouTube.
John's been doing an amazing job with his.
I've been
what's
trying.
The word Wednesday.
I've been trying.
I love it.
And I'm trying to
John
have
got
a
the
very.
Juice. I like.
I'm trying to have a very informational, educational approach to it.
Right. It's been good.
So, you know, hopefully you guys get into that and, you know, follow it. So follow the YouTube channel.
Yeah, check us out, guys.
And we're going to be doing more activities and, you know, the pandemic threw everything off. So we kind of had to, you know, put everything on hold. But, you know.
Hit the like button, guys. Smash that thing.
Smash the like button.
Smash it like that.
All right. So it's going to be it for us. Till next time. Faith, dream. Oh, wait. Follow me at Speechless 417.
Yeah, follow me, Boot Leech.
Until next time. Faith, dream, hustle, repeat.
That's the formula.